A very good morning, honorable judges, distinguished guests, beloved teachers, ladies and gentlemen. I am VOON LEONG from SJK TUKAU. Would like to present my research with the title Improving Year 3 Pupils' English Vocabulary by Using Various Online Learning Platforms. Vocabulary learning is an important and indispensable part of any language learning process. This action research aims to review the effectiveness of online learning using various platforms in order to improve pupils' vocabulary. This study involved a total of 11 pupils from a Year 3 class. As stated in the title, the study's main focus is to improve vocabulary proficiency for Year 3 pupils, since in the preliminary stage, they are showing very low vocabulary proficiency. This study will be carried out throughout PDPR. In the findings of the study, pupils have made progress and improved their vocabulary proficiency. They also show high enthusiasm in learning vocabulary. During my lessons, these pupils have shown very low interest in learning English. Besides that, they also have trouble remembering the vocabulary correctly. They also refuse to participate in any of the English activities. During spellings, they wrote a bunch of gobbles. The following issues are the cause for low proficiency in these pupils. 1. Improper vocabulary learning methods. Most people learn their vocabulary by memorizing. For the convenience of memorizing words, some pupils even write Chinese or Malay homophonic sounds next to the words. This method not only causes the failure of memorizing the words effectively, but also affects the pronunciation. 2. Lack of interest in learning vocabulary. Most pupils show their interest in vocabulary learning at an early stage. However, as they continue to study, they will encounter more and more difficult words, which cause them to start showing their fear of learning new vocabulary and even begin to resist learning. 3. Lack of language, input and output. Learning simple vocabulary is a huge challenge and difficulties for pupils who are from a family that has no knowledge of the language. Due to the lack of an English language environment, it's extremely difficult for them to gain input and output. Therefore, the initiative has been taken to conduct an action research on the problems faced in order to overcome it. The general objective of this research is to improve English vocabulary proficiency for Year 3 pupils. As for specific objective, it is to evaluate the effectiveness of online learning applications integrated into the teaching and learning of vocabulary, and to assess the level of vocabulary proficiency among Year 3 students. For the implementation of this research, a survey analysis of problem was made based on observations and questionnaires on interviews. Information was gathered by observing pupils' responses during teaching and learning activities in the class, exercises handed in by pupils, and marking of these exercises also contribute data for the research. Based on the observation carried out, the following were noted. All 11 pupils were identified as passive learners during the lesson. They paid less attention and showed no interest in class. They kept quiet most of the time. They could only identify, read, or write only 2 or less vocabulary. They were unable to complete the exercise given. They chose to leave them blanks when they were unable to catch up with the lesson. These are the results of preliminary survey observations on the 11 pupils, which shows that throughout the 10 lessons, they only respond once or twice per session. Next, questionnaires or interviews or exit tickets were done after each lesson to record the progress of pupils and to assess the pupils' attitudes toward language. These are the examples of the questionnaires. As a result, many of the answers given were negative. Only 4 out of 11 pupils are able to write at least one vocabulary learned. Most feedback shown that a sad face or a thumbs down was selected because pupils were unable to understand the lesson. Spelling were conducted to identify the problems faced by the pupils and to record pupils' progress. From the analysis of errors based on the spelling, it was obvious that these pupils were poor in vocabulary. They find it difficult to listen, read, remember, and write. In this research, technologies and various online applications will be fully used to help pupils to learn and master vocabulary. These technologies and online applications or platforms will also increase pupils' interest in learning English and improve their self-confidence. The activities are 1. Using smartphone texting application to help pupils boost their vocabulary, sending messages, having vocabulary reading practice. 2. Making use of online learning platform for interactive and fun learning. And 3. Making use of online learning platform for learning vocabulary repetitively. Smartphone texting applications. WhatsApp, a popular smartphone and platform application, is chosen to provide the pupils with learning opportunities beyond the walls of the classroom. It is a free application that offers textings, video calls, or group chats to enable pupils to contact one another and is accessible to both smartphone owners and PC users. 5 vocabulary audio files were shared in WhatsApp 2 to 3 times a week. Pupils are able to access these files and practice the pronunciations regularly. Field notes were used to keep track of the possible changes in pupils' knowledge and use of vocabulary. Interactive and fun learning platform or applications. As technology is becoming critical in education, language learners are using it more and more often. The use of Nearpod and Quizlet influenced the way pupils study. It enhanced learning and teaching, support collaborations, and motivations. Lessons, slides, videos, polls, and activities were built into Nearpod and Quizlet, enhancing the learning process and allows pupils to gradually follow their learning goals. Setting goals and expectations using exit tickets in Quizlet help to keep track and monitors pupils' progress. Gamification in learning involves using game-based elements such as point scoring, peer competition, teamwork, score tables to drive engagement, help pupils assimilate new information and test their knowledge. Booklet is a learning platform equipped with a various game. It encourages pupils to be active learners. These game-based activities are more likely to help pupils retain knowledge. Over time, this leads to learning as a motivation in itself for pupils instead of being lured only by games or rewards. In each vocabulary lessons, vocabulary exercises were set using booklet, which was then shared with the pupils at the end of the lesson. These exercises were designed to suit their level of proficiency in vocabulary. Pupils clicked the link and the game started in live. Pupils were able to see their virtual scores as they played along. Repetitive vocabulary learning process using online platform or applications. The online platform or applications such as WordWalk, Quizlet, Quizlet, Booklet, YouTube offers repetitive learning for pupils even when they are not attending online class. Pupils can slowly master vocabulary, their spellings, and vocabulary usage at their own learning speed. Different platforms or applications provide a variety of learning methods so that pupils do not get bored in the learning process. Links from each application were shared during online and offline lessons 2 to 3 times a week. Pupils were able to use the flashcard in Quizlet to help them learn, memorize, read, and spell the vocabulary. WordWorld provides offline gamification such as word search, hangman, game shows, matching pairs, unjumbles, and many more, which enables to attract pupils' interest in learning vocabulary. The generated progress reports from each platform or applications can track the progress of each pupil, thereby enable teachers to provide guidance and assistance to pupils according to their needs. Based on the theories, the findings, and the analysis, the present study arrived at the conclusions. By making use of information and communication technology, attractive and powerful online platforms or applications have raised up pupils' enthusiasm in learning vocabulary. It also helped pupils to understand the vocabulary they learned better, although they are making a slow progress in learning process. The benefits that the online learning platforms can bring to pupils can be seen. As long as pupils continue to learn vocabulary throughout these learning platforms, they will continue to improve. This is the spelling results after using online platform or applications on the pupils. The record shows improvement in vocabulary proficiency. The use of the online learning platform allows pupils to make subtle changes and progress, as well as rising up their interest in learning vocabulary. For the future research, I hope to continue to explore in depth the changes and impacts of online learning platforms or applications during physical classes because it encourages student-centered learning by allowing pupils to share in decisions, believing in their capacity to lead, and remembering how it feels to learn. Moreover, this future research will provide positive data showing that bringing smartphones to school will become necessity, making smartphones one of the main tools for teaching and learning. Thank you.